Okay, so I'm feeling much better than I was yesterday, and we are now in the single digits of the countdown, day -9. So I'm gonna change it up. We're gonna be throwing in a second camera because I will be showing you around my room and talking about other stuff. My name is Kyle, I am a Catholic seminarian, and I am becoming a deacon in 9 days. In yesterday's post, I mentioned in passing the promise that I have to take as a deacon to live a simple life. I guess providentially, in today's readings for the Mass, we see Jesus talking to his 12 apostles before he sends them out, saying, you only need a walking stick, one tunic, and some sandals in order to go out there. You don't need anything else. So I figured that'd be very appropriate for talking about simplicity of life. And I guess in order to illustrate that, or at least how I've been working through this idea of simplicity of life and how I'm trying to prepare myself for it, embrace it, I figured it'd be a good idea to show you around my room. Okay, I'm just going to step back a bit and kind of do a quick pan around the room. I guess this doesn't zoom out as I thought it would, but yeah, here's my room. Really not that big. There's a Murphy bed that's in here, so I have to remove those cushions for the bed to come out. Dresser, sink, microwave, fridge. And these items, all those appliances are actually secondhand from a deacon who graduated last year. So thank you, Father Scott, for letting me inherit your stuff. Closet over there, desk. Granted, this is my seminary room in one seminary that's among many across the country, across the world. So other seminaries have different room setups. Other seminarians have different setups in the room. Hopefully that goes without saying. For instance, here, this is, I guess, a little unique thing to my room. I have a standing desk set up. One of my friend's brother seminarian, who's actually going to be ordained with me in 9 days, Curtis, he and I made these standing desk things to, I don't know, for our productivity, I guess, shortly after we arrived. Yeah, that's my setup. My computer, there's my camera. That's a little, it's my lighting setup, my other lighting setup. And one of the things with simplicity of life is that I've been trying to purge myself of any unnecessary material possessions. My closet is pretty bare. Let's see, oh, here it is, here it is. It is. A bunch of clerics. Once the light comes up, yes. A bunch of clerics, not too much. And for me, just being conscious of traveling cross country, I really wanted to minimize the amount of stuff I had to pack. Okay, yeah, so that's my room and the stuff in it. So when it comes to simplicity of life, as I'm preparing to make this promise in ordination, I think my understanding of simplicity of life has really been expanding. And as I mentioned in the past, it was really focused on material possessions, of purging myself of things that I don't need, especially clothing. One of the benefits of having clerics is that I don't need much clothes. But as I look further ahead, I'm realizing that there's also a need for, I suppose, spiritual simplicity, or a certain simplicity in life that makes me as available as possible to serve. As the priest who was giving the homily this morning said, to not be burdened, to eliminate burdens so that I could serve God and his people as effectively as possible. Okay, so I think that's it for now. Just a couple points for conclusion. One thing I have repeatedly heard from priest friends and those who are more ahead of me in ministry is that one of the occupational hazards of I guess the priesthood, of diaconate, when it comes to preaching, is that we could be easily distracted by the message we want to give people, what we want to tell them when we're trying to pray for ourselves. Because we need that basis of prayer to be focused on our relationship with God. But oftentimes we're trying to jump immediately from what God seems to be saying to what he wants to say to his people, and not necessarily what he wants to give us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that this vlog project has really brought that out in me. Not necessarily that's a bad thing. I'm just noting that. I'm sure I'll have to get used to that eventually, especially since I'll be preaching every day eventually, at least once I'm a priest, I imagine. So if I could ask you a favor, because there are a lot of things on my mind, I could spend all day trying to figure out what I want to talk about in these posts, because things are accelerating, a lot of things are going on. I've only mentioned maybe 1/10 of what I could, but I have to focus and I have other things to do with my life. So if you can please, if there's anything that strikes your attention, anything you're wondering about, any questions you have, leave a comment, let me know. Chances are I would have already had some kind of experience that could answer to that question. So yeah, let me know what's going on and I'll try to be as responsive as I can. Well, that pretty much wraps it for the day. I have a comp study session in about an hour 45 minutes, and I have to get ready for that, going over Trinitarian theology. Good stuff. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow. Take care.